I knew you guys were for real in fighting against the establishment when I started going on right-wing shows and I would say something negative about Mitch McConnell. And when I did that in the past, what I would get back is, oh, no, Mitch McConnell's great. Pelosi's terrible, but Mitch McConnell's great.
Let's do that here. What do you guys think of Mitch McConnell?
All right. Yes, I love that. So look, for my left-wing friends that are watching out there, they just booed Mitch McConnell. That's a great thing, okay? And let's do one more. What do you guys think about Dick Cheney? My left-wing friends out there, we have been waiting for the right-wing populists to boo Mitch McConnell and Dick Cheney our whole lives. Take the win. Take the win. Now, what we need to do in the Democratic Party is we need to do likewise. We need to have a revolt against the Joe Bidens, the Kamala Harrises, and the Nancy Pelosi's. And the Hillary Clintons, and now all of a sudden the Dick Cheneys. What are they doing on our side? Are you guys nuts? Right?
I have to interject. When all of a sudden Kamala Harris is doing the Liz Cheney thing, I said, does she want to lose? I mean,
what's amazing is I said the same thing. Look, Dick Cheney polls at 13%. What lunatic thought it was a good idea to wrap yourself around Dick Cheney? I mean, when we started the Young Turks 22 years ago, longest running show in internet history, first ever YouTube partner with original YouTubers, one of the driving forces was get Dick Cheney out of office, right? And now for Kamala Harris to come full circle and say, oh, I've got 90 corporate CEOs backing me, and I've got all these executives on my side, and I've got Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney on my side, was so counterproductive. It's not what the left wing stands for. It's not what the Democratic Party should be about. So the problem is the establishment. They are controlled by the donor class, and mainstream media is their marketing arm. They do not do news. They do propaganda.
Boy. We got to talk about cackling Kamala Harris, who just won't go away. She just will not go away because there's speculation that she is gearing up to run for president again, even after getting landslided by President Trump this election cycle and also running for the Democrat Party nomination back in 2019. And she didn't even last long enough for voting to begin. She just won't quit, right? She just won't give up. She won't get the hint, okay? She apparently wants to run again, potentially in 2028. And if she doesn't run for president again, then she may run to be governor of California to replace Gavin Newsom. And I got to tell you guys, me personally, I hope Kamala Harris decides to run for president again, right? There'll be an easy victory if she happens to win the Democrat primary, which, you know, as of right now, she would be the favorite, although it doesn't mean anything because it's 4 years before the election. But as of right now, she would be the favorite. And if she was the Democrat Party nominee again, I think that they would lose, right? I think that almost surely they would lose to whoever the GOP nominee is at the time. And that's probably why you have some people on the left, or I'm not sure exactly how to describe Anna Kasparian at this point. I'm not sure if she's on the left or what. But regardless, she used to be on the left. She's freaking out. She's freaking out over the thought of Kamala Harris potentially becoming the governor of California, which she almost certainly would win that election, and not just retiring, right? Not just quitting her political career. And this reaction is hilarious. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Some senior party officials said to be open to Kamala Harris running again in 4 years. Politico asking the question, are Democrats coconut pilled? Where are you on this future?
Well, that was Fox News anchor Bill Hemmer throwing to Lindy Lee, who's the DNC Mid-Atlantic Regional Chair. Probably not for long because she is about to devastate Kamala Harris.
This is not what America wants. November 5th was a decisive defeat for the Democratic Party. She lost every single swing state. It wasn't a squeaker like it was in 2016. This was a resounding defeat. And right now, Kamala Harris is indulging in delusions of running for governor of California, possibly in 2026, or even president again in 2028. America has said this is not what we don't want to be coconut pilled. We do not want Kamala Harris. We don't want failed border policies. And I feel like I'm liberated and I can finally tell the truth that the Democrats completely failed on the border. Title 42 was a tremendous mistake, and no one is willing to say that. And you shouldn't be called bigoted or racist because you want strong borders for the United States. And you should be able to say that the economy was ailing under the Biden-Harris administration, that price hikes did indeed happen, but they denied that for the first 3 years of the administration. And when they finally did something, it was too late.
Yo, Lindy Lee. I think that she should strongly consider getting some personal protection, right? Because, you know, these Democrats, they're deranged, okay? They're extremely deranged. And the things that she's saying out loud in public definitely does not make the Democrats look good, right? And it threatens their money. It threatens their fundraising because she's essentially making the argument that Democrats can't be trusted with your money, which is true on so many levels, right, by the way. But, yeah, that's an argument that you know, hey, could really hurt Democrats in the future. So I'm just saying, I'm praying for Ms. Lindy Lee because she got a lot of people upset with her, to be honest with you. I might talk more about that later.
Now, look, Lindy Lee is a bundler for the Democratic Party. She raised a lot of money for Kamala Harris's campaign, and she feels that she was lied to about how she was performing in the polling, lied to by the Harris campaign about the likelihood of beating Donald Trump. And so she's been making the media rounds, and you can tell that she is really soured on the Democratic Party. But someone who hasn't soured on the Democratic Party is Joy Behar, yet even she has some pretty harsh words for the Democratic Party and, more importantly, the Kamala Harris campaign. Take a look.
The thing the Democrats do that most politicians do, I think the Republicans did it back in the day with John McCain. It's like, it's your turn. Kamala's in position. It's her turn.
Yeah.
Joe Biden, he did not retire early enough so that there could be an open, what do they call it? Primary. Exactly. Thank you. That's a simple word. And yet, there would have been an open primary. We would have seen what was out there a little bit more. It's just as bad as what they're doing with Trump, which is this loyalty oath that everybody has to take and bow down and kiss his ring. It's not about who's the best person. It's about who do you feel is in the next in line to do the job with the Democrats and with the Republicans.
Wow. You know, it's amazing how they admit this stuff after the election. When this was happening at the time, people on the right were saying, yo, this is weird, right? They're quite literally staging a coup within their own party. And then they're turning around and they're installing somebody that literally nobody voted for to be the Democrat Party nominee. But yet you're trying to lecture the rest of America on democracy. See, when you hear people like Joy Behar say things like this, right, when she basically admit that, yeah, that was weird, that Democrats have this like very elitist control over their party where, again, they do not actually allow voters to choose. The fact that she's saying this out loud means that they knew that at the time. They just decided to ignore it and to downplay it because it would help Trump, right? It would help Trump. So again, they're willing to accept authoritarianism and elitism within the Democrat Party, anti-democratic tendencies within the Democrat Party to stop Trump. Yeah, right. That's what these people have essentially admitted. Yeah, they're willing to be disenfranchised themselves, right, to save democracy from Trump. Again, Trump derangement causes cognitive impairment, to be honest with you.
Obviously implying, and this would be a correct statement, that Kamala Harris was not the best person for the job or the best candidate to run against Trump.
Yeah, they all knew that. And that's the crazy part about it. They all knew it. But it was pretending as if she was so amazing. Wow.
And look, finally, even Jill Biden is taking some shots at Kamala Harris. If you don't believe me, take a look at this.
So I hope that you all feel that sense of, you know, peace and light, and that just for a moment when you leave here today that you feel, I don't know, a sense of joy. Because I think we all need like this, you know, we all need to feel joy now during this time of the season, during this time. So anyway, okay, now I'll start. You're all reading into that.
Are we? Are we?
Yeah, so the rumors are that Jill Biden always hated Kamala Harris because of the one line in the debate back in 2020 in the primaries where she talked about how Joe Biden was in favor of segregation on buses back in the day, and that she never forgave her for that. Oh my God, Queen Biden, way to hold on to that grudge,
right?
And hurt your own party in 1,000 different ways just because you're bitter. Anyway, so now speaking of bitter, though, I'm a little bit bitter about The View, because when we said Biden was too old, they were like, "How dare you!" Right? When we said there should be an open primary, they said, "How dare you!" When we said, "Hey, the Democrats are asking for loyalty oaths, and we're not supposed to be the authoritarian party, we're supposed to be more open," they're like, "How dare you!" Now all of a sudden, The View is like, "Oh my God, you know what? Why didn't anybody tell us Biden was too old?"
Yeah, they'll go back to the loyalty oaths. Believe me,
of course,
they will.
The View is the masters of loyalty oaths. If you don't pledge for whoever is the establishment corporate robot, they'll take your head off on The View. So, Joy, I appreciate your new opinion, but it's very, very different than your old opinion, which is like a minute ago, and it dramatically different. By the way,
it just shows you that they're fake, right? It just shows you that they're propagandists for the Democrat Party, right? She slipped up and she said what she actually thinks, which is that Kamala Harris sucks. And this is what they always thought, right? They just had to play their part. Yeah, it really is crazy, man. It is crazy how much the media has just discredited themselves over the past 8 years or so. It's insane.
There's one thing I disagree here. I think Kamala Harris will probably win in a cakewalk for governor.
No!
Okay.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm telling you the reality, whether you like it or not.
What are you doing?
Democratic voters in California love to obey. And so
oh my God, I'm gonna move, Cenk. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna move.
I'm not saying I'm in favor of it. I'm telling you what's like if the Democratic Party said, "We anoint Kamala Harris," a giant percentage of Democrats in California would go, "Yes, we obey. We will take the loyalty."
And that's exactly what's gonna happen, bro. That's exactly what's about to happen. If Kamala Harris says she's running for governor of California, it's done, right? Like it's done. I mean, this is the silly state that voted for her to be attorney general. They voted for her to be senator. Clearly, she is a very popular figure in California. So I don't see why she wouldn't win the governorship, considering how she was vice president. I don't see why she wouldn't win it unless in the next 2 or 3 years, California gets a lot more red pill, which I doubt. But yeah, I mean, the reason why Anna Kasparian is freaking out is because she has come out and admitted the bad policies of Democrats like Gavin Newsom. And Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris are basically the same, to be honest with you. They're not that much different, right, ideologically speaking. So it would be like getting Gavin Newsom all over again, but probably a more incompetent version, a less talented version of Gavin Newsom. That's what having Kamala Harris would be like for California, right? And she's freaking out about it. And all I got to say is this, Anna, hey, if you want to move from California, there are plenty of states, right? There's plenty of states, okay, you can go to. But if you go to a conservative state, then you gotta leave. You gotta leave your voting habits behind. I'm just saying, you can't vote like you did in California. That's all I'm saying. If you're actually gonna move, right? Because that's what a lot of these people are doing. Okay, they're moving away, but your voting habits got to change. I'm just saying.
It doesn't matter how bad she is.
This state cannot survive another incompetent Democrat leading it.
Yeah,
leading it. Democrat like Kamala.
No, we just can't. Okay, anyway, so people are egging her on. Okay, apparently she's in a wait and see mode. How about you wait and see your way out of public life and go do what you're supposed to do. Go work in the private sector, go do the lobbying thing, whatever it is, but do not run as governor of California. Yeah. Do not.
So look, here's the thing that they still won't say that is definitely true, which is that she was a disaster. She was a terrible candidate, but it's still to this day with all their little, oh golly gee, I wish somebody would have told us, right? But they're not saying the core thing, which is she was a talking robot and she could not answer normal questions like a human being. She had her scripts ready and she would just take the script, her talking points, and match it to any question that you asked her. It was Sarah Palin-esque. Yes, I said it, and yes, she definitely deserved it. And no, we should want no part of her for any campaign at all, okay? And I don't know what coconut pilled means. That's a thing that people made up that doesn't even make any goddamn sense. Okay, and finally on Linda Lee, the person say, so look, she's more conservative than I am, way more, and she's more from the donor class, etc. But at the same time, we don't have to drive everybody out of the party, right? So she has a different opinion on immigration, so what, right? And it turns out that was the majority opinion in America, even though portions of it that I might not agree with. But I brought her up because she said a word that a lot of people are feeling. She said, I feel liberated. And that's because the establishment in the Democratic Party is so oppressive that if you disagree 1% in either direction or any direction, they'll take your head off. And then after the election, pretending as if they're open-minded is just garbage. The next time they'll do the same exact thing and they'll demand your obedience and compliance with probably the very worst candidate.
Facts. Facts. And I don't know, hopefully this time around, y'all don't line up and support these people just because you hate Trump, right? So in the future, with Trump out of the picture, hopefully there's not this cult following in the Democrat Party of, well, you must agree with Democrats 100% or you're pro-Trump, right? But they'll try to create a Trump so that they can do that, right? So that's essentially what's going to happen. I just found this clip to be hilarious. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.